This game and review contains frequent flashing lights, which may trigger seizures or other adverse effects in individuals with photosensitive epilepsy or similar conditions, so viewer discretion is advised. You've most likely overlooked Dracomaton, and that's fair because it's a niche short-lived roguelike with the first and last run lasting anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, while also possibly triggering an epileptic seizure for anybody unprepared for the sudden bursts of blinding flashing effects that come out of nowhere, if you're thinking about entering endless mode after your first successful run. If Dracomaton could be summed up in one word only, it would have to be potential, because there's little reason to replay it a second time. And of course, endless mode offers nothing beyond watching your screen explode into a rainbow color of effects and the possibilities of landing yourself at the top of the leaderboards. When you first enter this world, it feels like there's not much happening in it. I would like to point out that the trailer doesn't do the game any justice in the bullet hell department, with actually seeing how poorly it can keep up with its own bullet hell showcasing. I've broken the game in more than a few ways, and normally I enjoy doing this, getting out of bounds, crafting absurd synergies, finding loopholes. It's all a part of the fun for me. But here I felt oddly unsatisfied with my efforts because the game just could not keep up with the basics. The game has a solid design and a clear goal, with bits of story tucked into the discarded robot you encounter which can easily be missed. But the gameplay lacks that cohesive loop that keeps it engaging. In a roguelike with bullet hell elements, the first priority should always be to make sure that your game can handle that main feature. If it cannot, the whole game will fall apart, and that's exactly what happens here. You honestly have two options here. You either play slow or put up with the encroaching lag as your builds get out of control. It genuinely feels like you are meant to take this game slowly, or you have to endure 2 minutes of lag and instability before the effects stop overloading the engine and things return to normal. I really love the weapon system and the transformations, each with a unique design reflected in your robot's outfit and the enhancements through the various powers and synergies. But beyond that, the gameplay, enemy variety, and the two very basic bosses made it feel more like a loose concept, or at best a very casual game that wouldn't exactly match my idea of a bullet hell game. Starting out, you will be dropped into a basic tutorial. Nothing too terrible, it was informative without being too overbearing with the UI, and there's nothing here that I could honestly nitpick. Once you're done, you are thrown straight into your first run. It offers exactly what you would expect from a roguelike, attacking enemies with your weapons while being forced to swap out when their batteries are empty. As you rack up kills and level them up, you will unlock two different variants. As you progress through the game, you will enter rooms and find upgrade slots, letting you start merging each weapon effect together. So let's say you have the tennis ball weapon and the spiderwebs weapon. You could equip the tennis ball weapon, which by default bounces around repetitively, while the spider as a passive would consistently apply webbing to connect each bounce, adding in perks or slotted effects like burning or knockback, and these would apply on top of everything else, layering in more power with the 30 build influencing items. It was a very well-designed system, but without a meaningful game mode, difficulty spike, or true bullet hell challenge, it quickly became stale once I fully understood the design and how overpowered a lot of specific builds were with the corruption weapons, as all you would have to do is click one button to break the game. This is exactly what would happen. Some weapons have no limiters, so if you click fast enough, you can overload the entire screen and immediately swap to another weapon to do what we previously did once again, only stronger. That's when the game completely falls apart, and not even the bosses can keep up with the insane scaling. I'm not trying to sound like an elitist or say the game isn't hard enough. What I find disappointing is when a game is built around a specific style of gameplay, but it's not polished to support it fully. If I can manage to break a game without even trying, it shows that the developer hasn't put in the work to make things truly hold together, and this means that the game is currently lacking something. I don't mind that it takes about 30 minutes to finish the entire game, but I do mind that there's nothing to do after that. For a game that is only priced around $5, I wanted to see if it offered that much content, so I ended up playing it for about 3 hours, most of which was spent dealing with the lag spikes and waiting, and I can't say there's much here. There are some secrets and dev codes that you can apply to yourself, but beyond the initial allure of the game, I just didn't see anything worthwhile sticking around for. I still found the game very fun to play casually, but if you're looking for the next big thing or a hidden gem that got overlooked, Dracomaton isn't on that level, yet, and I don't think it ever will be, unfortunately. You might find some enjoyment here, but if I could say one thing to the developer, it would be this: balance out the weapons better. Fix the glitches, lags, and bugs to make the game more enjoyable and approachable, and for the love of God, add a seizure warning to this game because it's the least that you could do.